How are you doing? Hidden camera. Huh?
You don't see anything.
No, I don't see shit. I just see three people over here drinking colorful drinks. Where are you boys from? From here? What do you do?
I go to school.
What are you studying? Really?
Yeah.
What's in the blue drink? Or are you just trying to get diabetes? Oh my God, shut up, student. You're so fucking lucky you get to use computers. When I went to school, there were no computers. You had to think. Take your time. I'd love to go back to school now. You need some answers? Wait, there it is. Shit, when I went to school, all I had was a pencil and the kid next to me. And if he would have applied himself, I think I could have been somebody. Hated that fucking kid. Little Korean always covering his fucking paper up. What do you study? Nothing. Well, you ought to be good at it. Drinking blue drinks with straws. What are you gonna do if a fight breaks out? Gonna kick some ass! What school do you go to? Oh, and you? You don't go to school? You're what? You fuck around? Just stay the fuck away from my car. Just want to make it clear. Oh, God. What do you do?
I sell wedding dresses.
You sell what?
I sell wedding dresses.
What an unusual gig in Vegas. Aren't you on every fucking corner? What's the name of your wedding place?
Grace Loves Lace, downtown Summerlin.
Good luck. God. I think I had an edible, so give me a minute. In fact, I know I did. So I can't find it in my pocket. God, it's tough to do drugs today. I feel bad for the younger people. Your pot has chemicals, your coke has fentanyl, your vaginas have a penis. It's tough partying out there. What's this? Unfold your arms, boys. Let the laughter in. Nobody's a fucking afraid of you two fucks. Let me tell you, this guy in the blue drink kick your ass. And not drop the straw, I might add. What do you do? Huh? You cultivate weed, buddy? Yeah, I knew that. You got any on you? When I'm done, follow me. And who are you? The friend that just wants to smoke the weed? I can tell, because you're on something right now, fucker. You don't get that glazed look just because you woke up. What do you do?
I'm a server.
A server?
Yeah.
It's Vegas. You have to be so much clearer. Words like server, hospitality, hostess, they're giveaways. Are you a male whore? That's what I think a server is. Look, even the kid knows. And he's not done school. Oh, God, it's a long night. Long night. How are you? It's my ex-wife. And I must say, one of the greatest ex-wives on the planet. We were married 4 years. I knew it wasn't going to work, because in my mind I had killed her 9 times. She thought I dug Law and Order. I was just looking for a plan. Make some popcorn and pray, honey. This could be the episode. Those blue drinks are throwing me off. What do you do? Oh, another blue drink. What do you do? You do? You sound like you should be in the Temptations or some shit. That is a bass fucking voice. What? You should be a DJ. Yeah, get sponsored by Blue Shit. How many of those have you had? You're gonna need 20 more. Don't ever drink anything blue. What do you think's in there? What are you drinking, hon? Long Island iced tea? Pussies. Three guys. I'll have the blue one with the straw. The girl, give me Long Island iced tea. These three fucking guys. Anybody want to give me a ride home? And what do you do?
I work at Amazon.
You work at Amazon? Listen, the last 2 times my package has been 2 days late. What the fuck's that about? Anybody else? I pay to get it there free, and it's 2 days fucking late. What department are you in? What?
HR.
Oh, HR. Let me tell you about fucking HR. If you anywhere that has HR, do not go! They work for the people you hate! God. Well, I'll see what I can do about that next day. What do you mean I'm fired? I went to HR. The fuck out of here! Ooh. HR, how are you tonight, honey?
Oh, good.
Your hair looks good.
Thank you.
You ever been to a wooded area? You ever been so far out in the desert no one can hear you scream? Ever see the trunk of a Cadillac? I'm just flirting with her. What's your first name?
Mike.
That's right. What do you do? Cannabis? Gotta love downtown. Who here is connected with cannabis besides these three? You fuckers are so lucky. You go to the store, you buy, you go. I used to have to buy my weed from a 6'2" guy that never wore clothes. Look him up. Tyler Horn. He was the first guy in Playgirl magazine. Look him up. It's 3 pages, 2 took up his dick. That's what I had to buy pot from. So Al! What can I get you? Some fucking pot! Lucky bastards. Fucking lucky bastards. Everything's so easy for you now. Everybody gets trophies. Everybody's a good boy. Not everybody drinks blue drinks, though. Horrible blue drinks. Anybody here my age? Yeah? Where are you? He passed back out, did he? It's late for us. I've been getting prostate exams. Anybody? That's not fun. My doctor is 6'8". It's no lie. Pot guy was 6'5", the doctor's 6'8". And when he puts on that glove for the exam, it looks like Mickey Mouse's hand is coming at you. And let me tell you something, when your finger is bigger than my dick, it's not an exam. It's a fucking rape. You look nice tonight. You're welcome. You ever been to a wooded area? I'm single. You gotta play the odds. What the fuck? Sometimes on that set, I was like, redheaded stepbrother, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I didn't go out of my way to befriend them. And the same, when I get to Roseanne, it's a hostile workplace.
Yeah.
So...
But I mean, just the idea of trying to make comedy in a I mean, because it's not like that's the only instance of that either. But I mean, trying to make comedy in a situation like that it's I don't know if people really fully grasp how difficult that is.
Here's how hard it is. When I first had to do it, getting up 10 in the morning, I was worried about. Then how do you be funny at that hour? If you're funny, you're funny. You just adjust. But I remember I hired a guy named Bob Rubin when I did a sketch show. And I say 2 weeks. I thought he had the measles, but he was just nervous and picking his skin. I go, so what do you got for me? How am I supposed to be funny? He just didn't get it when the sun was up. So I'd have to sit with him, and he'd sew out the lunch. I'd have to pull it from him.
Yeah.
But once you got it, it was something nobody else was going to give you.
Yeah.
I go, well, what are you thinking about? Well, 2 Irish guys that just beat everybody up in the bar, and they have really big hands. I go, all right. And I go to another writer, I go, make sense out of this for me and bring it. But, you know, it was stuff you wouldn't get. And Fox didn't want him, and I fought for him. He's the only one that was written up in Time magazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's, and I think a lot of that comes from, you know, I mean, when they talk about how difficult it is to make it as a comedian, I think a lot of that probably, you know, helps you. Because I remember I used to like, I remember when I first went to like Montreal in 03, coming up at a place called like the Comedy Store where you have to sort of, you're doing comedy, but it's such a competitive environment. It's a harsh environment. You're dealing with a lot of egos, difficult crowds.
See,
Mitzi could be in a bad mood.
That's when you were there. Now, we had all that, but because there was no hierarchy, we were all one.
Right. And that's what I was saying earlier.
You know what I mean? You
guys sort of created a thing where guys like, me and the generation even before me could look at that and go, hey, I could take this little talent I have to make people laugh. And that could be, I could become a rock star with that.
When I started,
that's awesome. I mean, you guys really did make something for a lot of people.
Ed Sullivan and Johnny Carson. There was no place to do comedy.
Right.
Until the store breaks, and then the improv gets more
and
popular.
Carson moved to the West Coast. I remember Mitzi talked about that.
And then the clubs opened. That was my other point around the country, which is great.
Yeah.
Until the second one in the same area opens.
Yeah.
And they're just going to kill each other.
Right.
Which is what they did.
Right.
But now there's another renaissance going on, and there's clubs. What I'm fascinated with is every bar has a comedy night.
Yeah.
And some are very painful.
Yeah, no shit.
But when you talk to the comic, I'm headlining. And, I just want to put them in a headlock and go, you're not.
You're not fucking headlining this bar where you're staring at five guys' backs and somebody's going, Buffalo!
I came up where you sank or swam. There was just no way around it.
Yeah.
Try following Robin in his heyday or prior. I mean, Jesus Christ. So,
but when you come away from those sets and you did well, those are the ones you never forget. I mean, they stick with you.
It's also this kind of stuff. Like, Paul Mooney was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he says to me one night, somebody wants to meet you. So we go up the stairs to the room up there, and it's Pryor sitting in the dark.
Yeah.
He goes, he doesn't shut up about you, you little white boy. And from that point on, and he was so approachable, you could write shit for him.
Yeah.
He wasn't one of those guys that didn't want to hear it. And what he would do, God, he would come in and just talk for a minute or two. I have nothing new. By the end of the week, it might have been 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And he would do that for months till he had a show.
Yeah.
And if somebody yelled at somebody, he'd go, fuck you, I'm not doing that. And sometimes people get too comfortable. And, audience looks at you like a certain way. To relate it to sports. Remember when kids would look up to the baseball player, then you go to the autograph signing and he's drunk.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of that thing. And it was great to be around because of the time to create and write for Richard Pryor. My God.
Yeah.
But he was just, again, a different time. I had a little tiny apartment on San Vicente, and Mitchell's brother was some kind of Jewish biker with a connection to cocaine. Don't ask.
That's a
Right,
lot.
right,
That's a
right.
lot.
Yeah. Above me lives a cute little black couple. It's the vent on the wall so they can hear everything. The place is literally the size of this room. And Richard's there waiting for Mitchell's brother. And we hear through the vent, go down there and tell that white motherfucker to keep it down. And Richard looks at me and goes, go stand in that bathroom. The little girl knocks at the door. He opens and he goes, yes. Richard Pryor, yes. Leave my buddy alone. Slams the door. But Richard Pryor's down with that motherfucker. And you hear him tear down the steps, and Richard looks at me and goes, I'll be in the bathroom, get the door. And then, here's a great Mitzi not knowing her own business. One night in the main room, and people have told this story different with different people there, but I was there. It's Willie Nelson, who's touring with On the Road Again song, Burt Reynolds, Sally Fields, Richard Pryor, Mitzi, Argus, maybe a couple other comics and myself.
Yeah.
And Pryor says, I'd like a drink. And Mitzi goes, well, it's all locked up, the bar. And I just take a piece of paper and go, who wants one? You don't have keys anymore. I just go, rip the fucking thing right off, snaps that board in half. She goes, well, how'd you get in? I go, I broke it all up. And she goes, what? I go, it's all right, I know the owner. And without missing a beat, she goes, well, get me a split of champagne. And that was a magical night because at some point, Robin was there. At some point, Robin goes up and pretends he's healing people. And before you know it, Pryor goes up. Then Burt Reynolds goes up, at which point I say to Sally Fields, I don't know what you see in this guy. She goes, what? And I go, come on. And then we're all done. Willie Nelson says to me, my bus is parked out there. What door can I go through? I go, I'll hold it open for you. He goes and gets that beat up guitar of his. And he goes, I can't be funny, but I feel I have to give back. And he sang those for a half hour.
Damn.
God damn.
Another night, I see a guy with like a red Santa Claus hat on. I go, hey, Santa, and the light's blocking, and he says something. I go, what's with the bullshit accent? Anyway, it's Billy Idol. So all these people used to always come in.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you one wacky one with Stephen Stills. Robin comes up to me, Dave Tyree, after a show in the main room. He goes, Stephen Stills invited us up to the house. I go, I like the Doors. And Robin goes, what? I go, I like the Doors. He goes, well, come with us. So in the parking lot, Stephen tells us where the house is and says, I'll stop and get some liquor. Front door's open. Don't worry about my mother. So it's a couch like this, Robin, Dave, me. It's like a hallway. Here comes his mom. You hear the refrigerator open, the beer pop, and she walks backwards back in and goes, Mark? Screams and runs. Screams and runs. So Stephen comes in and we tell him, he goes, I don't mind her, you know. And here's one of the reasons I stopped doing drugs. It's around 4 a.m, which would make it 7 o'clock Washington time, D.C.
Yeah.
And he remembers he knows who shot Kennedy. Wrong thing to do with coked up comics. So we look at each other and I go, really? Oh, you ought to call the White House and tell them. Robin goes, you're Stephen Stills. Get him on the phone. About the fourth time we did it, I looked at him and I said, let's go before the helicopters come. Because he kept going to the White House. Leaving a message, you know, what are you going to get at 7 a.m? But it was just a different time.
Yeah.
You would go to houses of celebrities and it'd be mushrooms, but mushrooms on a silver platter, ounces of blow, pills, pot. And when I tell you people you wouldn't even think, Argus Hamilton was briefly managed by Jeff Wald, who was powerful in his day and was married to Helen Reddy.
Okay.
So we go out to his house, and he's a bit of a shit. And my life goes in full circle. He winds up working for me. And everybody leaves. You just want to do some blow? Helen Reddy. And we go in the office where there's all gold records. And he takes one off the wall, and he's chopping it up. And I go, Helen Reddy. And they start arguing. And Argus goes, what's the matter? Well, I fired her favorite maid last year. And they start arguing again. I go, last year? He goes, yeah. She never dusted, but it was her favorite maid. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, you see this record here? And it says, I Am Woman. It's her gold record. After I fired her, she was on Jeopardy, and the question is, who's saying I am woman? And she got it wrong. I fucking fired the right person. She never dusted. But Helen Reddy?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
It was just... I remember one night somebody go, I think somebody's dead out front of the store, and it's the curb in the street right in the crack there. I turn him over, it's Nick Nolte.
Damn.
I don't know if he's getting ready for that Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, in real time.
Or he just is there.
Yeah.
So, we had to figure out a way to move him. Just a different time, Red Fox.
Yeah.
You worked upstairs on the phone?
Yeah.
You know where that desk is?
Yep.
Red lays a line. He goes, want to do one? And he lays it all across
All the way down that hall?
that desk.
Oh, I thought you meant down the
And
hall.
I forget who, maybe it was Arsenio.
But that's a long desk.
He goes, what are you boys, pussies?
Damn.
Right down the table. And I just remember. Then another time, Blow was kind of new. 3 of us went in on a gram for $100. And one of us, which isn't me, is holding it. And here comes Bellucci down the hall of the store. He goes, hey, John, want to do some blow? And John dumps the whole gram. He goes, hands it back. And as he walked away, I said, apparently we don't understand this drug.
That didn't end well, though.
No,
It was, wow, man.
Telling.
Well, De Niro and Robin were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look it up, they were called.
They were there, you mean, really?
Yeah.
I had heard about
They wind
Robin.
up having to testify.
Because I had heard about, some different people coming to the store that night, like Sandra Bernhard, some other people, they were going back and forth, wherever room he had at whatever place where there were people coming
Chateau.
in the night that he died. But it's great. I mean, because, we all get past all this stuff. I mean, these stories and things like that. And, I mean, you never know what part of it's true, but it's still, I mean, I hope you recognize, though, that, what you've been a part of. Because, man, it really did.
I recognize I was a part of something that it's very hard to explain to other people.
I'm sure that you do a good job of it, though. I think,
having stopped, even coming here, I really don't do stand up, even though I'm going to be at the Ahern like an asshole doing it. Alan. Good luck with that, Alan. And I started to come here, and I what was it? One night, that nobody knows who I am, and afterwards they wanted to talk, and they go, "Well, this is sad. Where are the other me's?" And then I realized there are none out here. Mm-hmm. There's, you know what I mean? You can pick and choose who the real guys are, but the majority of the people out here, there's no real system. There's nobody to say to them. I grabbed somebody's hands one night and I go, be a little more commanding. Can you speak up? You know what I mean? Slow it down.
Yeah.
There's nobody to tell them anything. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. Because a couple of these guys, this Parker kid I think is funny.
Yeah, he is.
This one guy that I don't fully understand if he could do more than 20 minutes of it without losing the crowd, but it's that guy that just makes no sense. He goes,
Rob Falco?
and walks goofy. And says just the most bizarre stuff.
Oh, the way whether he was when he's doing
He
his,
was on
his
the
character
night.
thing,
Yeah.
or is that what he's talking
Yeah.
about? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. I love it, but I don't know if you could do it for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
No. When I first started to write, I'd pitch pilots, and then I learned you got to pitch the 5th episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those people are horrible. I had a deal at Sony one time, 13 guaranteed on the air. But I had to go meet the vice president. Do you know who Eric Tannenbaum is?
I've heard of the name.
2.5 Men. Big producer.
Okay.
He owns those shows. So I was partners with him. And I'm not sure if he understands my reputation and if he's cool with it. And we go and I pitch the show. But here's what the guy says at first. So why is Roseanne listening to you? What, are you fucking her? And if you know me, Tannenbaum's eyes are going, please do not hit him. I have other deals here. Please, Allan. And I'm just staring at the guy and I go, maybe I'm good at what I do. Well, pitch your show. So I pitch it and then he does this. What's the second episode? And I pitch that. He goes, God, I got chills. And we walk out. Eric goes, how many episodes do you have? I go, a half. What? I just made that the fuck up. I said, that's how I work.
Yeah.
So we would go out and, like, one time I yelled at him. I remember my agent going, you were just screaming at him. But we were waiting at NBC, and there was a guy who had a show on that used to talk to the dead. Mm-hmm. Something.
Yeah.
Well, he comes out to get his ticket validated to park, and he makes eye contact, and I go, hey, how you doing? He goes, pretty good, how are you? I go, listen, when you see my dad, tell him I said hello. And he walks away, and Eric goes, do you know him? I go, no, my dad's dead. He speaks of the dead, Eric. And they want you to be the writer-producer. So now we go inside, and a guy walks by and walks backwards. He goes, Allan Stephan? Why? I had the best time working with you. And I went, oh. And he walked away, and Eric goes, what was the hesitation? I go, it doesn't always go that way. And sometimes when you're that honest, like he brings in his buddy that might be a co-creator of that Paul Reiser sitcom, and he wouldn't shut up. And Roseanne didn't talk enough. And we're leaving. He goes, you got to get your girl to speak up. I go, you got to get your guy to shut the fuck up. And, God, I love telling these stories because they're so horrible.
Well, fellas, but I got to land this plane.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we do. They're going to kick us
I
out.
can tell you horror stories all night long.
Like I said, so.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot.
To conclude, from everybody in my generation, though, really, you guys really did. You forged a path for us, and you really did make a thing that for guys like us to shoot for and to go. I could do something with myself. And that's
I appreciate that, and I'm telling you right now,
it wasn't that way when you started.
I was terrible at where Robin showed up, and you could look at your watch and go, well, Mr. Show Business will be here any minute for him. There was no doubt about it.
Right.
But I was and I'll tell you how bad I was real quick. I was home, and my mother sat me down, and they wouldn't discuss anything with me. Her father, my mom's 15 years older than me, her father says, you give him too much freedom growing up. He needs the mental attention. That's what he thought when I said I was telling jokes. Dead serious.
Yeah.
Now, cut to, we headline Atlantic City, and he comes up to me and goes, I forgot it was you. But there was a lot of work to get to that.
Yeah.
And there was that opportunity to get beat up. They don't get beat up enough here either.
No, not at all. And but for me, to be in this, my generation of comics, to hear all your stories and everything and then even Cap to hear it's 26 years, it's like to hear so many of the similarities between you guys and the different things you went through at different generations and stuff, and then to see what I'm fucking going through here in the crowd work generation and the fucking everything's on goddamn social media
the
and
PC
TikToks
generation
and,
too. Everything.
I can't say nothing. I'm gonna get canceled, and it's like it's
when
so
that
different.
first started, it was going on at the Laugh Factory. And all I did is say something that was politically incorrect, and I'd go, before they could do anything, I'd go, I forgot, I can't do that. And I realized there's ways to sell ugliness, because I feel I do that. I mean, I tell people to fuck off, but I've learned how to turn jokes back on myself and make it likable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just have to adapt with people's sensibilities, which is what I've always done. Because, we've talked about where, whenever it's jokes that are, a lot of stuff that I used to do would be considered, I guess, maybe homophobic now. But it's like, it's like when you realize that the audience isn't going to laugh at that now, you adapt because it's like, well, why would I say that if it's not going to be funny now?
Yeah.
Like, so it's just, you just shift. I mean, because I think a lot of, and that's what I'm impressed with you is, I am always impressed when I see a comic grow on stage. Like, you're not going to be the same comic that you were when you were 20. You got a different perspective. You're a different person. You got to come from a different point of view. And that's where you just see where somebody is able to adapt and to grow on stage is as much as
If you
important.
stop growing, and believe me, I have a lot of peers that have.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't shift.
And,
a lot.
And it's in their head.
Yeah.
Because I have a white beard. When it all turned, I used to say to Sabrina, they're going to think I'm old. And then one day she looked at me, she says, actually, they're going to think you're that fucking goofy uncle, if anything.
Yeah.
And I don't even care, and I don't even address it.
Just do your bits.
I think I had one stupid old joke I used to do about can't find my glasses, but I make up so much shit I have no choice.
Yeah.
Like the joke I opened with tonight and got a laugh. That was just simply me sitting around and going, oh, they got fentanyl. You can't party like I used to.
Yeah.
Everybody be dead.
Right.
And there's, when you go to the pot store, they explain what chemical will get you higher in it. And I go, what? And then, everybody's vagina's got a penis now. And I went, oh, I'll just say it. And then for a while, I was going up here and go, I don't know if you people recognize me. 30 years ago, I was a headliner in this town. And of course they don't recognize me.
Yeah.
I go, I guess what I'm trying to say, if you don't know who your dad is, I'm willing to meet you after the show. It's just stupid.
But it's a good
But a
bit.
lot of time it's attitude. It's not even jokes.
Yeah.
Like you got a great rhythm, you do. Because you're almost like their friend. You know what I mean? I'm sure you know. So.
I appreciate
But
it. I do.
yeah, just the way you take comics and put them on over there is a sense of giving back.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore. Murphy, when he first made it, would do it.
Yeah.
He was very helpful in the black community.
Yeah.
And Sam was, but then Sam, goes off the deep end.
Right.
And we were just too early because there were no kings and queens of comedy before us. You know what I mean? So, but different time.
Yeah, and like I said, we could literally talk about this all night.
Yeah,
and,
because if I bring something else up, we could talk forever.
Yeah.
And but I really appreciate you sitting down with us. It's the first time I ever got to talk to you at length too, and I'm really
thanks for
really
asking
appreciate it, man. It's been
I
great
just
talking
enjoy
to you.
getting out of the house at this point.
Absolutely, I get it.
But we'll definitely have you back on again.
Yeah, man.
For more
Sounds
stuff.
good.
We got more stuff to talk about.
So
I don't
everybody,
hang myself after the Ahern again.
and I bombed in that room, so trust me, I know. So follow Allan Stevens.
Do you know anybody that didn't?
No, I do not. The unknown comic
that
I heard
room-
did good.
But he had 80 people, and they'll tell you it was a sellout. A sellout's like a 120. And I'm there the 29th and 30th. I expect no one.
No one, yeah.
Here's what I expect to see. Well, how long before I can have my check and go
Yeah.
home?
At the casino with no gambling.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
place. Though.
Allan Stevens, thank you so
I
much.
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah.
And
Thanks for-
guys, stick around. We'll be right back with more Killing Crickets.
Yeah, man.